Hey, what's happening, everybody? How you doing on this gray kind of cold Thursday, January kind of day? I'm Manny Vitale, host of My Fight Our War, and I just had to pop on here for a while, man, for a couple reasons. Um, One, I love doing this. Absolutely love doing this. Love being on here with you guys. Two, um, just feeling really kind of on edge right now. Today was or is still a tough day. Today, we had to lay my brother Sidney to rest. That you guys have seen the posts and stuff. As far as that goes, Sidney was a very uh, amazing man. Um, and I hope you saw some of the pictures in the video of myself and Sidney OG, and then Eileen, who worked with him at the Father Solana Center. And yeah, today was his funeral, and didn't know what to expect as far as you know. I didn't really know a whole lot about his family, but everybody loves Sidney, and my mom went with me, and when we pulled up to the Father Slatus Center, it was packed. That man, as you guys see, made a huge impact on my life, and obviously, I'm not the only one because the church was packed, and it was let's see what do we got going on here. Hold on one second. All right, what do we got? All right, Tammy's on here and says there's no sound. So is that me or is that your side? Ginger, you're on here. How you doing, Ginger? Can you hear me, or am I talking to myself? The mics are on. Everything looks like it's going. How wonderful to hear. How wonderful. Okay, so hopefully that means you can hear me. um, but yeah, so it's like I said, we got there for the service. It was at 9:30, and you couldn't find a seat. And again, not knowing what to expect, I walked in, and Eileen, who helped take care of a lot of a lot of the things with Sidney. He had some issues from a horrific accident that he was in when he was a very small child. When the very small little VW Bug was completely demolished by a semi, and as a little baby, he laid there in a coma for weeks upon weeks, and pretty much they told the mom and family he's not going to make it, and he did. He had a shit ton of medical issues. Every step that man took, he was in pain. But with every step that he took, he he smiled, and when he smiled, that man lit up the room, and he changed my life for sure. And it was a absolute honor when I walked in, and Eileen and some of the people there saw me as soon as me and my mom walked in, and they immediately came up, started giving me, hugging me, and right off the bat, a very warm welcome. And then they pulled me aside and said they were waiting for me because they wanted me to be a pallbearer. And to which I said, most definitely. So I had the honor and the privilege to taking my brother from the church that me and him sat side by side for years, praying together, next to each other, hugging each other, telling stories, laughing, crying together. and I was able to carry him out of that church and to his final resting place, and it was an honor. And it was just the stories that we were sharing. I shared some of them with you guys, as far as Sidney, and I'll never forget because when I saw him, he his walking pattern, his gait pattern was so bad from being in that accident. Everything. I mean, he had obviously he had a pretty significant closed head injury. His shoulder, his arm, his pelvis, his ribs, his legs, his ankles shattered. And to look at it without knowing anything, which I did, I thought it was maybe cerebral palsy or something like that, which it was not. And but just seeing the torque and the twisting on that man's body with each step, and again, he never complained. And we talked a lot about you know besides those physical issues, he had a lot of mental and social issues because of the head trauma and the brain injury. And every now and then, um, he could get very loud, and if you didn't know him on a personal level, it could be scary. And sometimes people would just ignore him, and when he go to talk, it'd be kind of like Sidney. He when he went to talk, as soon as he spoke, he smiled. I mean, as soon as he took a step, he smiled. I think every time when he opened his eyes, he smiled, and it was contagious. And he would be over the edge and very obnoxious at times. Sometimes we would talk, and he was so on point. And I mean, we would have such in-depth conversations, man, about very important, serious, faith-filled, meaningful conversations where he was just like, bam. And I'd see him the next day, and I had no clue what he was talking about. And but it didn't matter because you know when that would happen with other people, sometimes they would walk away from him, and or they would do he'd always hi, and he was just loud, and people how you doing, and he'd stop to talk, and they'd do the oh okay see ya, and just keep walking. And I ain't putting anyone down on that, man. I get it, but after seeing this and after having the privilege of introducing myself and meeting him and talking with him and all that, we we you know just became brothers, man. And it didn't take long to see he just wanted to talk. He had so much love and faith in his heart, and he wanted to share it. But sometimes it went off, and it took him a while to reel it back in. So I learned just to sit there and not say a word, just to listen and let him go. And sometimes I'd sit there with him for half hour, and out of that conversation, I spoke sometimes 5 minutes. The rest of the time, it was my boy Sidney, and I'd see him just smile. Every now and then, I was like, I got you," and he'd look at me, and he would just smile, and it was just almost like we were on the same page. And so there were a lot of other stories told, and the one person who actually was his godmother was talking about Sydney and how I remember Sydney rode a three-wheel bike, a tricycle, because of his disability. Well, his not up to par abilities. As he told me one time, Manny, he goes, Manny, it's not the disabilities that I have, it's the abilities that I still am able to do. That's my brother. And this bike was beat up. It was just through the mill, man. And I remember one day I came in and he's walking, and I looked over at him, and he kind of just had this look on his face. I'm like, Sidney, what's up? Someone stole my bike. And this bike was coming to find out from Eileen, they found it in the garbage. And, they found it in the garbage, tried to revamp it a little bit. And that was Sidney's bike that he rode for over a year, and he loved it. And someone stole that from him. And when I found out, I was irate. And with the help of all of us at My Fight Our War, OG, we bought him a bike. And there's video of when we gave it to him, and the smile on his face was incredible. He, you know, um, he always said, "It doesn't take stuff to make me smile." They said they were talking about that today at the funeral. He always said, "I don't need stuff. All he needs is God above and family and friends." And it was a beautiful day, and it made me put a lot of things in perspective. We all have our moments. Life is rough. We have our ups, downs, good, bads. It's life, man. But sometimes it's so easy to get caught up in things, and it don't get me wrong, man. The events that happen in our lives, they're real, they're personal, they hurt. And um, to say, just let it go. It'll be okay. It's not that bad. Well, no, the things that do affect us, if it bothers you, if it's something that makes you angry or upset, or if it hurts you, yes, those are real feelings, man. And knowing that it's not, something like that, it's hey, we got my brother Skylar Ray. You got me, man?
I got you. I didn't know I was about to pop on like right on the thing.
Hey, that's all right, man. I was just about to tell him, man, because I of course, you guys know I love my brother Skyler. He means the world to me, man. And I hit him up when I got home from the funeral, and just out of the blue, he had no idea I was going to call or anything. And I just said, "Listen, Skyler, having a bit of a moment. I'm thinking about going on. You want to do it?" And as you can see, there he is. So I appreciate you, man. I really
Of
do,
course.
and thank you, man.
Of
I
course.
appreciate it. Just sharing some Sydney stories with everybody.
Absolutely. I've
And
been catching it. I've been catching it, man. I'm sorry for your
eh,
loss.
oh man, I tell you, he was such a amazing person, man. And it makes and it kind of it fit in with what me and you were talking about. How you know don't and it's I know it's a cliche and all that. Don't sweat the small shit. It can
Yeah.
always be worse. And it is true, but at the same time, it doesn't make the things that upset us go away. I mean,
No, it
we just
doesn't.
gotta process it. It's like you said, let it go. I mean, it's okay to be mad. And yeah, be mad, be pissed. I mean, get that and get it out and get it over with. Me, I would hold on to that shit for weeks, months, years. I'd hold those anger shit in there and stuff. And it took like Scott or Sydney, he'd be like, just live on. That's another thing he'd
Yeah.
say, live on. And he'd always say, I don't need stuff. Because I got him that bike and stuff like that, and to make him happy. And he was just like, man, yeah, I don't need stuff. I just need God and you. I need God and my family.
Yeah.
and and I was like, damn, this guy, just brought so much. And like I said, that's why when I hit you up, I hit him up. I go, as soon as I started hitting these stories, Scott, I go, I thought of you, brother. So I appreciate you
Hey.
popping on with me.
Of course, man. Yeah, I appreciate your patience. I got up a little
Oh,
late and
hey,
I had to make me a little chicken burrito, a little I've been doing so good on my diet too. But a little chicken burrito. Um which when I say I'm doing good on my diet, I say that cuz I'm proud cuz like usually I'll fill up that whole air fryer full of chicken strips like big bag gone in like 2 meals, right? Uh I've only put like 2 chicken strips in there versus like 10. So I'm very proud of that. But yeah, I had to get some food. That's why I was like, hey, let me get some food. I got my
well, here
coffee.
you're
You
talking
know?
about that. When you wrote that, I was just like, as you wrote that, I literally stopped at Buscemi's Pizza on the way home, and I grabbed 4 pieces while you were. I'm just shoving that shit down, man.
Ugh,
Um, but yeah, oh, I'm stuffed. I'm full of pizza now, and
ugh.
and I been so busy yapping here. I missed everyone was nice enough to chime in here.
There was.
Tammy,
You want to load up
Ginger,
some? Do you know how to load up the comments?
yeah, we
Okay.
had
I'm gonna
uh
make Cakes a seat real quick next to me because she's on the floor crying. But go ahead and read through the comments. I
hey,
got you. I got you.
don't let Cakes go, man. I don't want to piss her off. I saw that text you sent me yesterday.
Hey, she'll whip our ass.
I know. Yeah, we got Ginger. I appreciate you. Thank you. And of course, Lori and my brother Boston and everything you guys got going on. Love you guys.
We got Brenda in the
Um,
building.
Brenda, she sent an amazing post out there. I cannot wait.
I
She's
see.
on the show Monday. Looking forward to Brenda. She is just an awesome individual. Pam's out there, and actually, I want to Pam. It will send a bunch of love and prayers to Pam. Pam, unfortunately, uh, her daughter passed, and it was very obviously very hurtful. And
Yikes.
so Pam's going through a lot, man, and lost her daughter, and also she has had a daughter, so it was a granddaughter as well, and so just sending a lot of
Sending love
definitely.
to Pam.
Pam, love you. Appreciate you, man. We're here. You're not alone. You've never been alone and you'll never be alone. So we
Absolutely.
got you. We got you.
Absolutely. And sorry for your
Um,
loss. I couldn't imagine. Just know that you do have a community of people willing to uplift you and be there for you. So make sure you reach out. I'm sure people in the comments will respond. I'll definitely respond. Manny will respond. So sending love your way, prayers, and everything like that.
yeah,
So,
definitely. She's been part of my fight for quite a while, man. And so that's for you, Pam.
uh,
Small X cat is really big. Some people. Yeah, Brenda. And again, Brenda, you saw her post, didn't you, about me and you? She wrote
yeah,
real
I
nice
seen
stuff
that. I
about
seen
us.
that. Oh, yeah. You know,
So
I dropped some comments on that.
that's us. So
That was the
Brenda,
first thing I saw when I woke up. I open my phone as soon as I get up. And I seen that and I was like, let's go. Let's
yeah, I saw
go.
it too. It said tagged. I was tagged in something. What was I tagged in? I read it and I was like, damn. So
Yeah.
that's Sunshine from Vancouver. In fact, we were just talking about Brenda,
Sunshine.
about doing the show or doing the
Yep.
event in
Hands
September.
across the bridge.
So Brenda, we were already talking about that. So whether we're just letting you know, we're not even asking. We're in it. We're doing it.
Let's
So
do it. Let's do it.
Skylar's headlining it, and I'm
Uh,
just coming and I'm going to be his roadie or groupie or something. I don't know. I'll
I
do so.
believe I'm headlining. I headlined for the last 3 years. So usually they have Hands Across the Bridge, and then they have the music portion afterwards called Handfest. I headlined for the last 3 years. The main committee that handles the music portion, did step away, but they still have other committee members on the board, which I've reached out to because they've already booked me right after the event. They booked me right afterwards. Come again next year. So I reached out to
Oh
them.
heck yeah!
A couple months ago, and they said I should still be good to go. Either way, I'll be there. I'll figure a way to be a part of it, even if, like, and even if I'm not headline, I should still probably be performing. So if they're doing the whole
Yeah.
music portion thing still, so we'll be a part of it.
Oh, definitely.
We got Ginger. She said she wants to see Cakes.
And here comes Cakes. I
Uh
mean, a
huh. Who is
picture
that,
says it.
Mama?
She's just like, really? I was almost asleep.
Uh huh.
She's like, okay, is this my close up? Is this my close up? Uh, 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 uh,
Ah, come on, Mama. Tilt in. Tilt in.
there,
No,
there goes.
no.
Uh,
There you are. Uh-huh.
oh, you gotta look. Wonder Dog is she's
There you go,
I think
Mama.
she's getting a little demanding. Wonder Dog turned into a diva on me, and
Is
she's
she?
wanting. Yeah, man. I told her it's camera time, and she's like, no, we gotta talk. I'm starting to get popular now. I either want some catnip or some treats or something before I go on camera. So she's getting
Let's
all
go. Let's go.
diva on
Hey,
me.
you know that right there, Stacy Chircon? You see that comment?
Stacy.
Stacy on the comment right there. It's on the board. Look at the screen. You see it at the
Oh,
bottom of
I'm
the
looking
screen?
over here on the right. Hi, Kate.
That's my
Stacy.
that's my
Yes,
that's my mama.
that's my. Hey, I
That's my
oh,
mama.
thank you. Well, I
That's
tell
my
you what,
biological mom.
Stacy. You have one awesome son, man, and good thing you're quick too on your feet. I heard about those stories, man, getting chased. You know, shit. I tell you what,
We talking
they
about through
met.
Africa, mama,
Yeah,
where you
they
got
mess
chased
with
and
my
grabbed.
brothers. They mess with Skylar's mom. Man, I'll come out there and whip some ass. But
Let's go.
those were
Hell
some
yeah.
those pictures, man, were incredible. Absolutely incredible. I was like, shit. So
Man, absolutely. I loved them. And did you hear the song I sent you last night, that unreleased?
you and handsome man, you and King. Yes. Are
Yes,
you talking about
yes.
singing that when we go to New York? You want to do that one up in the studio?
I'm thinking that might be a good one because we're gonna be shooting a video anyways. If we don't do that one, we'll do another one. But I was thinking that might be kind of a good one.
And
Um,
especially up in we I sent I let Matt know, and
yeah,
they've got a bunch of stuff going up there. So they redid, plus the studio is
yeah.
redone for the shows. The table's gone, that big ass table's gone. We got, it is badass. He sent me some pictures.
I'm excited. I'm excited to, you know what I'm saying, to have my family there. It's been really cool. I really look forward to my Connecticut trip every year,
Oh,
and I say this because you being added to it's gonna make that much more grand. But check it out. So really look forward to it. Um, uh, Coach is basically my brother. You know what I'm saying?
oh yeah.
I have he's right there near and dear to my heart. Just like you are. You know what I'm saying? And Woe is. You know that's how much Coach means to me. And it's really cool because I get a chance to go up there and see him. His wife, I call her Mama Dukes. You know what I'm saying? We got Strongbow, we got the whole community out there. Michael Autoshavit's out there, but like you know what I'm saying? We got Coach, and it's really cool because I get a chance to hang out with him. But Woe's come for the last 2 years, and he drives up from Rhode Island, and so like it's
That'd
awesome
be
to see him.
great.
Last year we had my buddy AC flying from Chicago. You know what I'm saying? To be a part of it. And that's another one of my brothers, you know? And it's really cool because this year you'll be a part of it. So I'm really excited because look, we could shoot a music video, we could do a couple episodes and like you know what I'm saying? Like it's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
be grand and hang out with Coach. Ah, Susie the Wonder Dog. Let's
she
go.
she's
Let's go.
I looked over, all of a sudden I hear the scratch, and she's like, ahem.
Hey.
I think she was waiting for an introduction. I tell you what, that would be a hell of a show, man, or
Can
a
you
hell of a
imagine
time.
that?
All of
Can
us
you
out there at
imagine
the
that?
same time.
Hey,
Oh,
hey, you coming
oh
from Detroit? I'll see if AC wants to come from Chicago. We have Woe coming from Rhode Island.
yeah.
Me and Kayla coming from Portland. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? It will be amazing. It'll be lots of fun. And it's really cool because I always have a good time with Coach. Like Coach is bad. I told you we went to go celebrate his 50th birthday. We flew a helicopter over Grand Canyon, or we rode in a helicopter. We didn't fly the helicopter. Let me
Yeah.
get that distinction out real fast. We rode in a helicopter over it. Me and Coach got up at like 3 a.m. to go hike Bryce
Oh,
Canyon,
hiking.
watch the whole sun come up. Like, oh my God, Mount Zion. Like it was over in Utah, and then we went out to like Arizona. Like it was cool to be a part of his 50th birthday.
And then out
Um,
on the boat, didn't you say you guys went
oh,
out,
we went
took
on the
out?
boat. Yeah, he let me drive the boat. And we were driving the boat. I was whipping it. He's filming. We're all performing. We performed Heartbeat on the boat for him and stuff. Like
Next
it's
thing you know, you're like
everything.
Weekend at Bernie's. You're flying around, people flying
Uh,
out.
it's really cute because like him and his wife
Brenda.
Mama Dukes, right? um they love Heartbeat, so every year we perform Heartbeat for him at the show, and they always dance, and you know what I'm saying, and hold each other and dance. It's a really really cute experience. Like I love it's crazy because I've told Coach this, like we bonded right away, right? I didn't even think about it when I hopped into. So if you guys don't know, he has a black car service called Coach Trips.
Coach
And so
Tony
if you're
does.
in the area, make sure you get the black car service from Coach
Well,
Trips.
shit. You know what? We've been
Hey,
having to rent cars and all that. What the hell?
hey, Coach Trips is 5 out of 5 stars. Recommend. But it's funny because I pull up and I didn't think anything like it. I forget I'm on the East Coast and I have a Boston White Sox hat on, and I think I said the team right. Boston. It's baseball. I don't follow baseball, and I had it on. And he's like, "Yo," he's like, "You got to take that off, son." He's like, "Bada bing, take it off," you know. And I was like, "Hold up, hold up." And he's like, "You lucky, you Skylar Ray, and I flew you out." He's like, "Get in my car." But he was joking, obviously. But I,
Oh
I
yeah.
bond, I bond from talking shit. So like that's if I like you, I talk shit. Like that's just the way it is. Like I always I'm always cracking jokes. So I thought it was really cool that me and him got to know each other by him messing with me, giving me a hard time. And I was like, come on, you know? And I was
Well,
like, this dude's cool. He's
Uh,
cool, you
and
know?
that's just it too. That's when you get to meet the person, not the
Yeah.
name and the image. You know, you see this stuff where people, they're like, they see again, they see the shows and they see the person who's the host. Well,
Yeah.
you want to meet the person who's the person, man. And
Yeah.
that's why it's so important. Like me and you always say, the person is a host, the host is a person. It's the same person. So be
Yeah.
authentic. Don't be sitting there trying to be something you're not. But well, that was just like with me and you, man. When you came on, there was no,
Hey, there was no
professional,
awkwardness.
but
We
it
didn't
was
pass
just
it
like
off.
screw you, screw you. Oh, we're doing this. Oh, it's on. And
OG's like, we gotta go live. It's
oh,
been 30 minutes. You guys keep
she,
talking.
she keeps looking.
He's like,
She's like,
shut it down for a second.
she's like, we were supposed to go live 10 minutes ago. Oh,
Uh,
we'll
hey,
just add
it
it
was,
on to the end.
and then we talked afterwards. We had a couple-hour conversation the
Oh
very first time
man,
we talked.
that was the
And that's
first one, man. And
man. And there was no stale moments, bro. We had fun. We cracked off dad jokes, tit for tat. Like it was dope. It was dope, man. That's why I'm really excited for this year. I
oh,
got
it
some
is the
cool ass people in my circle. My circle's super small, but my circle is stacked.
Well, whoa,
You know what I'm
whoa,
saying?
hit me up last night about 3 or 4 times, man. After the show, during the show, text me.
Yeah.
We call. I missed his call. I was on with Matt in New York, and he
Uh,
called. And we go back and forth. So now here, bam. Now, like you said, the circle. Me, you, whoa, Coach,
yeah.
Ian, Matt. All
Yeah.
from
It's
Connecticut,
crazy.
all right
It's
there. And
crazy.
now Stacks. All in Connecticut. Matt's
Uh,
like, how in the hell do you know Coach Tony? I'm like, Skyler. He goes,
yeah.
how do you know? How do you know Stacks? I go, he got a hold of me, and I was like,
Yeah.
and of all places in the United States, all within an hour radius.
Bro,
So
it's insane. It's insane. I'll tell you what, I told coach this. Connecticut, I never had no desire to go. I never had no desire. It just reminds me of
no,
like old rich white people. I'm like, sounds boring. You know what I'm saying?
it's like
You know,
it's
those aren't my people. You know,
it's like, hello,
um,
Bernie, how are you?
yeah.
It's like, oh yes, we're off to the stock market. We are going to go and you
Uh,
know do some Bitcoin. It's like, what?
it's crazy. It's crazy, right? And I never had no interest. Like Connecticut was probably one of the least states that like it's like a Vermont or something like you know, and I went and now I'm like, bro, my Connecticut trips, I cannot wait to go back to Connecticut.
We look
So
forward to it, man. Matt, he's like, hey, listen, man, this I think our fifth time, and Matt's like, you know what? I'm gonna fly out to Detroit, and we could do a bunch of remotes from some of the guests from Chicago and all that. We'll do
yeah,
that as well. He goes, so you don't have to. I go, no, man, look forward to this.
yeah,
It's part of you fly into White Plane and all four gates.
all
You
four
see
gates,
the
baby,
pilot,
one terminal, all
yeah,
four gates.
the pilot gets off the plane, then he goes and he works the counter at the concession stand,
He does.
and then
He
he's out
walks
there.
the floor, comes back.
Yeah, he's like maintenance. He goes, hold on, shutting down the bathroom. I go, I
Yeah.
thought you were the pilot. He goes, well, he goes, Louis called in, so I got to do the toilet.
Hey, and that's if you guys do not know, that's literally like what it's like. Obviously, the pilot isn't working the thing, but that's what it's like because I seen someone cleaning the floors, and then he went to the bar to serve a drink, and then went back and started stocking the shelf. Right. So there's if you go to White Plains, there's a couple grumpy old people, not even old, couple young crotchety people working TSA. You got one terminal. You go in. You got one terminal, and then you have two gates to the left, two gates to the
Two
right.
gates to the
You got a
yeah.
little seating section right here. You got a bathroom right here, and a store slash grocery store slash pizza store, all right there. So get your Pringles, have a shot. No, don't have a shot.
Oh, yeah,
But you know what I'm saying. Like
that's
it's that's White Plains, New York.
the first time I was there. We flew in,
Uh,
of course, fly out of Metro, which that's
yeah.
all I've ever been to. And I mean, I never traveled. I've traveled more in the last 6 months than I have in 59 years. And
Uh,
so we land and I'm looking around, White Plain. I was like, this must be like the corner wing of this part of the airport. And then
yeah.
I'm like, oh, so we just leave. And then we
Yeah.
come back, and then I'm looking and I see this
Let me
a
get
plain chain link fence, and there's all the Hertz rental cars and shit that are backed up into the fence. And
yeah.
there's a plane backed
Uh,
in. I'm like, the planes are backed next to the rental cars. It's just and there's
It,
Louis.
it truly isn't. It's a different experience. Cause I've never flown into New York besides like LaGuardia or JFK Airport, and like and so it was different for sure. But I'll tell you what, I love bro. It's gonna be so much fun this year.
Oh
I'm
my god!
excited.
If
I'm excited.
whether it's just me, you, Kayla, doing and Tony, Coach Tony, of course. But can you imagine that shit? You get Woe out there, and the rest of us all together out that. And we'll just let Brenda know. Oh no, that's right, because she's like I'm thinking that's Vancouver. That's
Do you guys
Washington.
have multiple mics?
Where in
The
Connecticut?
studio.
We got just set up here. We got the two mics set up there for guests. I think Matt said we could do multiple, like hook up. I think another 2 to 4. I'm
Okay.
guessing.
Well, I'm
Well,
just
there's
wondering.
definitely the
I'm just
two.
wondering. Just throwing it
It's
out
just
there.
two and
It doesn't
nine.
have to. Just throwing it out there. Like I want my solo episode, of course.
Oh
That's
no,
you know
yeah,
what I'm saying.
definitely.
But
Yeah,
I think it would be dope to like have like, me, Kayla, Whoa, AC, all just boom,
what?
little crew. You know what I'm saying? Have a little
Oh
entourage.
yeah,
Da, da, you know.
definitely. But what definitely without a doubt, the studio, the way it's set up, it's me and you,
Yeah,
me and
100%.
Whoa,
Yep,
and
let's
me and
do it.
Coach.
Let's
Like
do it.
when, yeah. So that's gonna be cool as hell. That is gonna be a trip, man.
That'd be
And
dope. And
see,
then we could do a few episodes of Music and Mayhem while we're at the show. We could do, you know what I'm saying, at the studio. And then same with like um I plan on making this booth right now I'm in bigger. So if Hands Across the Bridge does happen, Brenda. But if it does happen, and then we could shoot a couple episodes in here for Music and Mayhem. Like so like it will be dope, bro. I'm excited. And you know what the crazy thing is? That's basically back to back. August
yeah.
25th, and then
Then
like a week later we'll be
September,
in Portland. It's the
and the
first
thing
week.
is,
So Labor Day is like the first Sunday. It's usually like the first 3 days of September.
yep. And just like we were talking earlier, man, this was even a month or two, whatever it was, we were talking about just when things were really starting to start moving and shaking. And
Yeah.
I was talking to you about New York and different things going on, and you were telling me about all these different things, and we were both like, dude, things are starting to happen. And then it's like, this is good feeling. Got good feelings about this. And then things started rolling even better. And that's when we started talking off camera and stuff about some of the things we want to do. And now it's becoming a reality. And it's like, man,
It will
this is
happen. But something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen. You know what I'm
well,
saying? You don't force it. You don't force it.
no.
Shit's gonna pop up, and we're gonna be like, "Bow, what up?" You
I
know what
mean,
I'm saying?
here, as
Oh,
Kayla says, airport buddies,
airport buddy.
it's
Hey,
like
bro, you might not even touch back to Detroit. It might be Connecticut all the way to Portland. Who knows? Who knows?
And then from there, we got some stuff going with that. Mike Young, man, God bless him, man.
Yeah,
He is busy as can be. He's got that rock comedy tour that he's doing all over the place. And besides that, he just got his movie Stealing Jokes that's on Netflix. And plus,
okay.
I can't remember where I think someone asked about doing a red carpet and all that because he's from Detroit and
Yeah.
he's hooking up
Detroit
with
what?
And he's hooked up with Eminem and stuff, and
Yeah,
we were talking
yeah,
about that.
that's
So,
dope.
and here he's from L.A., and I right before me and him started talking, I was telling OG, I said, there's some things that are happening. I just got a feeling, and she started laughing. She goes, "Last time you said that is like about 9 months ago, 10 months ago." I said, "You're going to be busy." I go, "You're going to be, getting flights to New York for the Today Show and doing this, and
Yeah.
kind of kidding." And I go, "Actually, I'm not kidding." And it was less than a month later, I called her. I said, "Listen, we're doing the Ian Bick show. We got to fly out to New York." She goes, "You freaking just said," and now it happened about a month ago or so. I
Yeah.
told her, I go, "You know what? I think you're going to have to add on LA. We're going to have to be going out to LA." She's like, "For what?" And
Uh,
it was 2 days later is when I saw Mike Young reached
uh.
out to him and about doing some stuff, and all of a sudden I look and he's from LA. It's just like,
It happens, bro. It happens. For a few years, me and Kayla's like, we gotta get into Texas. Gotta get into Texas. I don't know why, but I want to go to Texas. And we had a gig lined up for the first year, and it didn't work out. And then, and then the second year, we're like, gotta get into Texas. And then the third year, which is last year, right? The tour we just ended, we ended up going to Texas 3 times. You know
Did
what I'm
is that
saying?
where you went or something happened and they had to cancel or reschedule it? Was that Texas? There was something that was set up and the last minute something happened with the either where you were supposed to
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
perform.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Was
yeah. That
that
was
Texas?
Veterans Day. That was Veterans Day. It was supposed to be that was gonna be with my buddy Chris over at Camp Hope. That was gonna be on Veterans Day, November 11th, and that was gonna be the city of Houston, Texas
That's
gave
what it
them
was.
the big basically their equivalent to Central Park. And so that fell out last minute. Well, truthfully, like there was a lot of was gonna be locked in, but it never got locked in. So I don't know if it technically fell out because I don't know if I was ever in, but there was a
And
lot of
a lot of
rumble
talk.
and yeah. So, but shout out to my buddy Chris, everybody at Chris Hope. They work with veterans with PTSD who are in recovery. And it was really cool because when I
That's
headlined,
awesome.
me and Kayla co-headlined with what was Sundance Head. I'm looking for the flyer. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Sundance Head. They were like on American Idol and got like number two or something, or the singer did. And but we co-headlined this festival with them, and excuse me, I'm getting over a cold, but it was really cool because I got a chance to meet Chris, and it's funny because when we go places they have like green rooms for us, and I can never sit still in a green room. Like I want to be out at my merch table. I want to be out meeting people. I want to be out because it's like a lot of times I didn't come somewhere to sit in a back room and not meet anybody. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
just sit in the
Like
back.
I'm
You want
not
to be up
building
front.
connections. I'm not meeting people. I'm not representing my brand. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. That's the way me and Kayla are. Like you flew us out here. Like let us mingle. You know what I'm saying? And so especially like business and stuff. Like and plus it's like I want people to get the full experience. I don't want them to be like, oh, Skylar's back there. Like don't bug them, or Skylar's back there. Like do this. Like nah, it's like Skylar's right here. What's up? Like,
Yeah,
like,
you
can I
don't
get a
want to have
hug? Let's get a
someone.
photo. Like, let me sign some stuff. Like,
Yeah, you
you
don't want to
know,
have someone sitting in your merch booth selling like you're one of your people saying, "Oh yeah, buy our stuff," when
yeah,
they're expected to see you.
and so it's like we happen to like be in the green room for like a couple minutes. You know what I'm saying? And I popped out, because we put our stuff back there. We're popping in and out. I'm meeting people. Mind you, I kicked this festival off. They had this big. It's White Oak Music Hall. It's in Houston, Texas. We had like 750, 800 people attend the event. But I kicked the event off with speaking and performing on the little stage upstairs. And then I co-headlined the show on the big stage to end the night, right? But it was really cool because like I'm there and I met this guy named Chris, and I was walking out and I believe my buddy David Sunday, it was somebody from the organization, I don't know if it's somebody from PADAP, Palmer Drug Abuse Program. Shout out to Bev. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Greg, who has like 40 different centers out there. Like, you guys are killing it in the recovery game. And I'm
That's
out there,
awesome.
and he's like, yo, I want you to meet Chris. And Chris comes up and he's like, hey, like, if you have time today, do you think we could do an interview? And I was like, let's do the interview right now. Because he got this little helper, Monica. I don't want to say her name's Monica, but it might be. Check it out. So, very sweet, very sweet. Actually, I'm going to double down on Monica. I'm going to double down on Monica. So here's the thing. And so, like, their promo guy for their company is Monica, right? And she's really cool. And we're sitting there, and I was like, let's do the interview. Let's go do it right now. And I was like, let me go grab Kayla, because I wanted to grab Kayla for the interview. And it was really cool because there was another artist there, and he wasn't headlining, he wasn't nothing, but we were able to get him in the interview with us and make it a group thing. And I really feel like he added a lot to it. And you could tell it meant a lot because we sat down, and they had me and Kayla on the couch. And I remember looking at dude, and I was like, yo, bro, hop in this. And he's like, oh, no, no, I'm good. And I was like, bro, hop in this. He's like, you sure? And I was like, yeah, come on. Like, you
That's
know
what
what I'm
it's
saying?
all
Because
about.
I'm not, you're just as special as me. You're adding everything into this. Like, I get, like, I'm the headline for this festival, but like, come on, you know?
We're
And so
all
like
part of it.
we did this interview, and it was really cool, and I stayed in contact, and I had some of the veterans come over to the merch table, and I gave them free merch. You know what I'm saying? For their services. I told them, come through, grab whatever you want, whatever. It was like kind of at the more towards like the later part of the show. So I was like, whatever's left, if there's like something you want, don't be shy, come over, have what you want. And it was cool because I met some veterans, and they talked about it after we left. That was their first time coming back, either from like combat or first time leaving new to recovery out in the community since being sober and going to an event like that. And they never knew they could go to like music events sober. They never
And
knew,
not drink. Yep. Mm.
and it was really cool because I got a chance, and I got a chance to share some words with him when I was on stage and let him know, like, I'm just performing, you guys are the real heroes here. Make sure we give everybody a round of applause, make sure we, so it was a very special and unique thing. And since then, my friendship has grown with Chris, and Chris is an amazing man. That was the guy who was trying to plug me on the Veterans Day. You know what
Oh,
I'm
I
saying?
gotcha.
They
Yep.
do they do 370 or 80 events a year around the country. So they're doing more than one event a day a year around the
That's
country.
insane.
And so it was an honor to even be thought of to perform at their big headlining show, which would have been like 10,000 people, right? But it is what it is, man. I like my brother Chris. He's dope. He's dope. And I like what they do. It's a really cool thing. But that's just one Texas. Then we got like my buddy David Sunday, who's booking out there, connect me with everything. We got Beth out there at PADAP, Kelsey at PADAP. Like, it's the Texas family starting to stack. They've already been hitting me. Like, we got some stuff going down in Texas this year. I'm stoked. It's
It's
a
like
good thing,
taking
man.
over territory, man, because here for me, not knowing anyone anywhere, and all of a
Yeah,
sudden it's like, okay, man, we're going to Connecticut. And I'm like you, I was like, all right, and here I know like Ian. Ian
yeah.
was
It's
good person
crazy.
to know, but here I know Ian Bick. That's the only one. And now 5 months later, it's him, it's Coach Tony, it's
Mm,
Bill Stacks, it's Matt Cronin, it's AJ Galante, it's Coach Dave, it's Leroy Ebron, and it's just like all in Connecticut. It's just like,
Connecticut, baby. Hey,
yeah,
you
and I
you
got
get there and you start to mingle, and you're like, damn.
that's what it is, and it was just, I got out of the studio doing the show with I had Ian. It was on the show, and I came
Yeah,
out, and then Leroy, his wife was there, and as soon as I got done, she pulled me aside because Leroy was doing a show in the other studio, and her and OG and someone else were talking. They were watching in the green room. They had the show. They were watching it live, and she goes, I just got to tell you something. She goes, that's the first time we've seen Ian interview like that. It's like usually a little more reserved and all that. And me and him were just like me and you kind
yeah.
of do, but because he's a little quieter, and stuff like that. But we, it, it's just, it, we just had, it was just a conversation like me and you would have, but it just
Yeah.
happened to be Ian Bick. And so I don't know if they were expecting it to be a little more like focused, controlled, and all that. Instead, it was just like, whoo. And,
Yeah.
Leroy's wife was like, man, it was really nice to see. It was like kind of a little change of pace. And man, it's just cool. It is
That's
just,
dope. That's dope.
it is so cool, man. And, and that's like one thing today, being at that funeral. And it's just like, it was like a slideshow was going off in my head while I was sitting there, while the service was going on, just thinking of the memories. And if I didn't reach out, I actually knew, or I seen Sidney for probably almost 2 years. We would go down on Wednesdays for a healing mass when my dad was diagnosed with ALS. So we would go down there every Wednesday, and you could do a mass for a healing mass for a loved one. And I'd see him there every Wednesday. And this poor guy could barely walk, but he was always there, never missed. And I'm thinking, man, all this stuff. And but I never said anything. I just would always say, man, look at that guy, man. He's just walking. He never gives up. Until one day I just walked up to him. I said, listen, I've seen you. He goes, well, I've seen you too. And I could tell as soon as he started talking, there was a little bit of a mental issue with his head injury and all that I found out later. But, you know, said hello, introduced ourselves. And from that second on, it was just like me and you.
Yeah.
And I did a show and I said, we are all one hello away from meeting our next best friend, our next brother. It's like
Yeah.
I didn't know you until you came on the show. And now, it's like grabbing the phone. Hey, listen, Skylar, we're having a shitty day. Boom, here you are. I
Yeah.
mean, that just shows you, man. I mean, life, I am not going to take any of it for granted. And, the blessings that we have are something that mean the world to me. And that's why, I tell people, tell people how you feel.
Yeah.
Because so many times when I was with the police and EMS and we go to a scene and there'd be a dead body there and I'd be working on someone or something like that. And then relatives would get there and I'd hear, they can't be dead. I wish I could tell them one more time, or I wish I could have said this. It's too late. That's why when I text you and shit, when I text Skylar, man, I'm always like, hey man, just wanted to reach out, say hi, man. I
Yeah.
love you, brother.
Absolutely.
Just and
Absolutely.
it's like, well, people know. I go, I know, but you know what? I'm gonna let them know that
Yeah.
they,
You gotta tell them.
that
You
they are
gotta tell
loved.
them. You gotta tell them
Yeah,
why they're still here.
yeah.
No, I definitely agree, man. It's life is short. We only get one run through on life, and that's why it's important to keep our people close, but also on top of that, be the best version we can be. So
Oh, without a doubt. And especially, man, when we tell our stories, like people, if they didn't hear your story or my story,
yeah,
and they see us now, it's just like, look at these two guys, man, having fun. They're doing social media, got shows, podcasts, traveling around, all this stuff. It's fun. And it's all this, but they never saw the turmoil and the
the destruction.
almost dying in the street, me almost
Yeah,
dying in the hospital.
yeah,
And now that appreciation of every day, man. And that's like when you were sending all your pictures when you're on vacation.
yeah,
Here you're sending these beautiful pictures. And it was that slideshow again, because as I'm looking at this, and I remember telling OG and people at the gym, I'm like, man, all three of you, your mom, and Kayla, your smiles lit the picture up. You could see how much it meant to you.
yeah.
And I got a little emotional, man. I was like, look at that, man, where he was to where he is, and you could
Hmm.
just see how much it meant to all of you. And it really was
It's
heartfelt,
been a
man.
journey. It's been a journey, and it's crazy because like I'm grateful for like the life I live. I live a very safe life, a very comfortable life. I live a very rewarding life, and it's really great because I think about it, man. Like you said about when you were in the hospital and all your organs or whatever shut down, and you're getting ready to die and all this stuff like that. I don't know if you've known this or I've ever said this to you, but I had kidney failure when I was a baby, and I had to be life flighted. I was in the
No, did
hospital
not
for
know it.
months. I almost died. Kidneys weren't working. They were getting ready to give up. I just had to be a couple months old. I was blue. I was purple. My whole body was. I was swollen. Um, and I ended up, my kidneys just clicked on out of nowhere. And,
That's okay.
after a few months of just dying, literally dying as a baby in the hospital. And so it's like I think about that. I think about, My drug of choice is meth, but there has been a few times I tried to do heroin just to see what the hype was about. It's a lame drug. It's a lame. I could never get into it. I like to be up and rocking. You know what I'm saying? I do my shot of meth. I'm good. But I did like this heroin, and I was like, this is lame. And I was like, I gotta try it again. Like, I just don't. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Why are people so stuck on this drug?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I've actually overdosed twice. I've only shot it like 5 times, and I've overdosed twice. I've
Damn.
turned blue. I've turned everything. People had to like smack me to wake me up.
Mm.
All types of stuff. And it's crazy because I almost overdosed there. I remember my buddy, we're playing. I was like 16, 17. We're playing my buddy DZ. We're playing with his older brother's gun. And his brother had a pistol. And I remember because it was like a gold pistol, right? I don't know what type, but it was like a gold pistol. I'm not a gun person. And
Mhm.
anybody had buckshot bullets in it, so it sprays the BBs. And I remember he was playing with it and he tossed it down on the couch or on like a little Yanakin or not Yanakin. You know what I'm talking about? A little footrest thing.
The
And
ottoman.
yeah, adamant. Yeah, whatever you said. That's it. Check it out. So he tossed it on that and it bounced and it went off. And I saw the BBs fly by my head, like both sides. And behind me there was a bunch of holes in the wall from the BBs, from the pistol. And I didn't get hit once.
That's
I didn't get
insane.
hit once, right? And then there was another time, so that's 3 times, if not 4 times, if you count both overdoses, right? So I should have been done, right? And on top of that, there was another time I was in the streets and there was kind of like a war going on. It was like a little mini war, nothing like crazy, but to me it was you're high, you've been up for days, you know what I'm saying? And the guy that I used to, get dope from, the few of the older cats there, because you had like the youngins on the block, which is like me, I was like 19, 20, and then you had like the OGs, which were like 30, 30, 40, you know what I'm saying? And so
Mhm.
he was like the bigger dope dealer downtown, and the older cats that were his age would always try to rob him every chance he get, or try to rob all his little runners, right? So when I first came out, I was like a runner. And so like they try to like get me, and I remember they were always stealing his bikes because he would always let like his runners use his bikes, have his nice stuff, always this and that, and so they would try to always pluck off the runners to try to like damage the profits or try to, you know what I'm saying, and try to steal the downtown Portland back. And so like they were always beating people up and stuff, and I remember a couple of these ones. There was one guy, which I became good friends with him. His name was Shorty. This motherfucker hit hard. Everybody knows you don't get hit. Like he's hit so many people out there and they just crumble. Faces like almost caved in, like
Okay.
bruised. Like one hit, your both eyes are black, like fucking nose broken. Like he hit everybody so hard. And I remember everybody was so afraid of him. I was afraid of him too. But he came up and, I don't know if I had the right level amount of meth in my system or what. But he came up and he tried to grab dude's bike that I was borrowing. And I was like, hell no. So I grabbed the bike and like no one stood up to him, right? Because you're just getting crumpled, right? And he has like 3 other OGs with him. And I grabbed the bike and I was like, nah, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't taking the bike. And so I was like, man, I was like, look, I got no problems with you. Like, take it up with him, not me. Like if
Yep.
you want to jack his
Hey, how'd
shit,
you
you're not
feel
gonna
about
jack it
that?
from me. You know what I'm saying? That day I was a little man with a set of balls on me. Check it out. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, shit, I'm really about to just get crumpled. And he walks off, and it's crazy because I've seen like the footage. So it happened at this place, New Avenues for Youth, NAFI. We called it NAFI on 8th and Oak, downtown Portland, Oregon, right across from the Paranoia Park we always talk about. And there's this place, it's youth services from 18 to 25. Homeless youth can go there and get food and drinks and take showers. So that's what I always did, right? I'd go in there every day, get new clothes, take a shower, eat food if I felt like it. But I remember he went to take the bike and it was during off hours, right? And he went to walk off and I was kind of just standing there in the doorway, kind of watching these 3 people walk off. And out of nowhere, he turns around and starts coming back. And I got scared and nervous. So I started walking up to him. When I get scared and nervous, I do stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? And so I
Sometimes you just
walked up
gotta
to him
react.
and I went to say something to him, but I was being nice. I was trying to like make friends. And so I walked up to him and I was like, "Hey man, we cool or what?" You know what I'm saying? And I put out my hand and he pulled out a knife and he got me right in the neck. Right? And here's the thing about it. Here's the thing about it. He got me right in the neck. I felt it. I've seen the footage later. It literally, the blade hits me right in the neck. No mark. No mark. Check it out. So he hits me in the neck. I tackle him, right? I tackle him to the ground. I'm holding him because all I thought was if he hits me, I'm done for. So I got him on the ground. I'm holding him down. I'm such a strong wrestler. That's my thing. Like I'm not too much of a boxer, but I'm a scrapper and a wrestler for sure, 100%. Like I will beast mode and like just slam people, right? So I got him on the ground. I'm holding him down, like, and, and I'm like, you good, you good, you good, and and then finally I let him up, and he pulls my shirt over my head and hits me once in the head, and I felt all the blood just disappear. And I got woozy. Like I've never felt it. My knees crumpled, and I remember just hitting the wall, and I was like trying to get out. I'm all like jellyfish legged, like shit,
You're doing
you
the
know,
Gumby
uh,
thing.
and like I get up, and I'm like, what up, what up? And in my head, I'm like, I hope he just walks away. And then he said some stuff, and they left, but the blade was still on the ground. And when I was scrapping with him, this girl I was hanging out with, her name was Nikki, right? And she grabbed the blade and grabbed it. So when we took it back, so this blade so he was sharpening the blade around the corner a few minutes before because he found out that we were over there and he wanted to rob us. Right. So, because I made friends with, like, once you've been around for a little bit, you start making friends with all the other OGs and stuff like that, and because it's not like gangs, it's people just like areas, like, this is my block, and this is where I sell dope. You know what I'm saying? And so they had a lot of respect for me because I do business right. All my time out there, never sold fake dope, never shorted a bag. If you said it was short, come back, I'll weigh you out double, and now I'm never dealing with you again, but you could never throw dirt on my name type thing,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But I always did business right. So after a while, I made friends with them, like 6 months, a year later, and they were telling me right before that he was sharpening his blade right around the corner because he was going to come get us, but it broke. The tip broke.
All the tips, so it was all
The
blunt.
tip
Just
broke moments before, like literally like 2 minutes before he came around the corner to get us. And so, but the crazy thing is, we ended up getting that knife because when I tackled him, Nikki grabbed the knife, and we took it back, and the knife was still crazy sharp. Like we threw it, it stuck in wood. We pulled out, we stabbed it through like the hotel bed. Like it went through everything, and there was not even a red mark on my neck. There was nothing on my neck, but everybody's seen it hit my neck. I know it hit my neck. And when I've seen the footage back, I mean, I go to shake his hand like this, and he just comes up with a clear shot, and you see it just bounce right on my neck. So I'm like, I don't
that's
know
fine.
how, but it's like kidney failure, kidneys kick back on, the stab to the neck, the overdoses, the being shot. DZ shot the gun, and the bullets fly across and happen to spread perfectly and not even like touch me. Like you know what I'm saying? That's why I say, like, I am grateful. That is just like callings with death that I avoided. Like that's how it's like I like life the way it works out. Like I don't know, it feels special. I know everybody says it feels special and everybody thinks they're special. And I don't think I'm more special than anybody else, but there's got to be a reason. Like
There's a
I'm
reason.
still on this earth, right? And
Yeah.
so I think about that sometimes. I'm like, damn, little mama's little man avoided so much shit.
And the thing is, it's so funny doing these shows and hearing these stories
Yeah,
about people because they'll a lot of them have heard my story.
yeah,
They'll before coming on, and they're like same thing like you said.
yeah,
Sometimes you'll hear people doing a show and they'll say, "Yes, I was definitely blessed." And
yeah,
when I was asked that, the Ian when I was on his show goes, "So you definitely were blessed?" I go, "Ian, I have been blessed multiple times, and like just like with you." For me, my little series of checkoffs were,
yeah.
my appendix blew, and I that they burst. I made it through that. I got the scar going all the way up my arm where
Mm,
they did an IV in me, and it was a shit technique, and it was a bad technique that the guy used, and I ended up getting bacteria in, and they got developed sepsis and from an IV, and they had to rush me in for sepsis. Could have died from that. Had another shoulder surgery when they went to take the tube out. My throat spasm shut and I couldn't breathe. My lungs filled full of blood, and that's another reason I sound like this. Is scarred both lungs. That dude that pulled the gun shoved it right here, pulled the trigger, and it went right to the side. It shattered my orbital bone here. They had cut my eye all the way down, pull this down. I got a plate here. A year later, he got stabbed right down the side of the face here. And then, of course, the big one, just like yours with the kidneys,
Yeah.
my pancreas, kidneys, and liver. They walked in. They're like, Manny, they're all done. They all that one, all three have shut down. They're not functioning, and there's nothing that can be done except for hospice.
Yeah.
And so between the shooting, the stabbing, the sepsis, the lung issue,
Crazy.
and then the organ failure, it's just like one of the docs said, he goes, "You're here for a reason, man. And whatever
Yeah.
God's reason, it's big. Just like yours. In fact, listening to
Crazy.
yours, the
Crazy.
gunshot, your
Yeah.
gunshot, my gunshot, the
Yeah.
stabbing, yours,
The
mine,
stuff. Yeah.
uh, the
Kidneys.
kidney. You know what? I didn't even think about that till just now. You
Yeah.
had a kidney. Now, so did I. Stabbing, stabbing, shooting, shooting. This is weird.
Crazy.
This is weird.
Crazy, bro. Crazy. Hey, I was talking to Wolf last night. He said, God don't make mistakes. So I said, your birthday is 1/9. And he said, yeah, I know. I said, Manny's 2-year anniversary for My Fight Our War is 1/9. And he's like, God don't make mistakes.
I tell you,
And
he
I
is
was
so
like,
cool.
now
I
hearing this,
can
I didn't even think about
I did when you were telling me your story
I didn't even
about
think
the gun, the
I know
stabbing,
your
and
story, but I didn't think about that. I was just
they're the
sharing mine and I was
same.
like, wait a second, it's the same.
They're the same.
It's the
And then,
same.
whoa, I tell you what, I sent, whoa, he sent me some really nice stuff, man. He sent me, I'll share it with you after we get off here. Just all of a sudden, he sent me a text and he sent me a message last night. Just really nice stuff, man. And here we've only met through text messages and this. We haven't even met yet,
We
show or
haven't.
nothing, but just the stuff that you told me about him.
Yeah.
For you to talk about him the way you talk about him,
Yeah.
I told him already. You're
He's
my
good
brother, man.
people.
I
He's
go
good
for
people, bro.
Skyler to talk
Yeah.
about you the way he talks about you. I told him the other day. I go, whoa, I got your back. I
Yeah.
said, I know you don't know me,
Yeah.
but my word and family means everything. I go, Skyler's my brother, man. I go, but
Yeah.
for him to talk about you the way he talks about you, and then he sent me some really, really nice words, man. And I was just
Yeah.
like, holy shit. I mean, so
Yeah.
what a cool, so I'm looking
He's
forward
good
to,
people, man. He has a very good heart. I judge people by their heart. I don't
oh,
always judge them, by their actions or outbursts or things like that. Like he's lived a very hard life. Like
well, you
he grew
said that
up.
he's got a crazy story,
He
or
he
so.
he's
He'll be telling us
he
on the
never really
show.
had drug addiction. Never really had drug addiction. Never none of that. He got into selling drugs. He got into he grew up in the ghetto, very very poverty of
Rougher.
Rhode Island, Providence, Rhode Island, and he's had a lot of his family get killed. Gang banging, all this different stuff like that. He's had cousins and dads get their heads blown off. He's gotten all types of stuff so he's very. I'm so proud of him because he's come such a long way. When I first met him, he was very very untamed. You know what I'm saying? And it's
Little
really
bit
cool
raw, huh?
to see his growth. You know, um, I think his rawness is very unique to him. But it's really cool to be able to see him handle like his anger and his emotional side. And he's just grown so much professionally. Like I've seen the way he used to deal with things like 4 years ago to the way he deals with things now. And I'm like, he does really well. I'm super proud of him. He reaches out to me for thoughts and advice,
That's
and
great.
it's like, this is somebody that grew up where it's like, you got a problem, you go shoot him or stab him or take him
Yeah.
out. Like, that's a lot of his family's been cold blooded murdered. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a lot of his family still gang banging, still in the streets. His family's still on crack. Like, there's all these different things that are like, things that he does, but like he's still there. And not only is he developing, but he's becoming so mature that it's like, it's really cool because not only that, but he's an excellent father. He's an excellent
Oh
father.
man. And that, and I
He's
tell
good
you
with his
what, look,
family. Like it means everything to him. So I
that's
seeing where
cool.
he comes from, knowing his past, and I'm like, bro, they're like there's always hope for somebody, right?
And I
And,
tell
and,
you
and
what,
he's
his
done it.
shows, some of the stuff that he's released or he posts on his page, man, it looks like he has some turnouts for his shows and stuff,
He,
man. They
he
come to
does.
see him,
He
you
does
know.
fun, man. He does good, and he's grown so much. He's grown so much, and I always enjoy chatting with him. I always enjoy, you know, the fact that he thinks before he reacts now.
Yeah,
The
that's
fact that he's not he's humble enough to come for advice. He's always coming to me for advice, and I think it's really cool because the old Julius that I knew, whoa, King Handsome Julius, right? Old Julius Taylor that I knew, he would like there wouldn't be no advice. It'd be like, "Yo, bro, this is what I did. I just fucked them up." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta lay low for a little bit, you know. And now it's like, and he's like, this makes me angry or upset. What you think I should do? And I'm like, just kind of ignore them. And he's like, I know, but I've been disrespected. And I'm like, I hear that. I'm like, it's okay to let him know you've been disrespected, but once you say your piece, you kind of let that be. You don't have to involve that energy. You control what comes into your life for the most part, and I just think it's beautiful that like you have somebody who's has such a crazy life and he's willing, and not only willing but he's able to make decisions and do something positive. Like it's cool, man. It's cool. That's why
yeah.
you never count anybody out.
No.
you
And the thing
know
is
he,
too, man, checking that ego, man, for us guys to not just react and be the tough
yeah,
guy and all that stuff, for him to be that guy that,
yeah,
and I know, man, because that's how I was. It was like, something, if you did this, my reaction was to do that, and just go at
yeah.
you.
That's
And
how he is.
now
Yeah,
it's just stop,
yeah,
think. Well, if you still need that, you're gonna get it, But now it's just like, well, wait a minute, stop, think before you react. In the past, all I did was just react, and
yeah.
just like
And
guy
that's
like
that's
him.
how he. That's
But
yeah.
but to now to hear that and to think, think about it first, man. It just shows maturity and all that. So that says a lot about him and you
It
for
does.
for helping guide along the way, man. And
I will always help somebody as long as they're willing to help themselves.
exactly,
I get tired of helping people when they don't help themselves because then I'm just like, well, man, I wish you the best and I'm rooting for you, but obviously I've given up energy. Let me know when you're ready. You know what I'm saying?
you know what? You
Um,
sound exactly like Matt, my producer, Cronin.
yeah,
We were talking about getting this whole thing started, and him and Ian both. They're like, What do you want?" And I
yeah,
told them, and they go, "Okay, well, what are you gonna do?" And I go, "Man, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this show, that show, this show, and I'm gonna do this many shows, this many podcasts, this many lives, this many TikToks. I'm gonna do all this." And they're like, "Okay." And a friend of mine in Detroit, Ronnie Dahl, who's a news anchor now, she's very well known in Detroit.
yeah,
When I first started this almost 2 years ago, she met with me, and we're talking about help and just to get things rolling. And I'm telling her all this too, full of piss and vinegar. And she goes, "Do you know how many people have come to me talking about they're going to be the next best thing and they're going to do this?" And then all of a sudden, it's like, "Did you do it? Did you do shows today? Did you do podcasts? Did you do lives?" They're like, I'll do it tomorrow," and it's just talk. So after I got done with my spiel, Ronnie looked at me. She goes, "Prove it."
yeah,
Prove it. That was it. She goes, I don't, you did all this now, back it up. When I talked to Matt and Ian, Ian's the first one that, he believed in me. He said, oh,
yeah,
he's the one that reached out to Matt to be the producer. And, Matt saw what I was doing. I was backing up everything that I said.
yeah,
And, and he said the same thing. He's got people crawling all over trying to, want him as their producer. And he's like, I need you to do this, this, and this, and then send it to me. Okay, I'll get you tomorrow. And he goes, I won't hear from him for a week. I'll call him back. Hey, superstar, man, I didn't get your stuff. Oh, well, could you just do this? And then,
yeah,
you know what? I'll get back to you. And that's it. Where with
yeah.
me, everything he says to me, man, I either write down or it's up here. I listen and I do it, because they know. So you just like, whoa, talking to you,
Yeah.
so listen to people who've been there. And,
Well,
that's
you know what? Another thing I love about Woe is I don't mean this in any bad way about anybody in this world. Um, there's a lot of people that have big dreams, but they don't put in the effort. There's a lot of artists out there that say they want something and they want to grind for it, but I never see them grinding unless they're in my inbox wanting like free features, free studio time, wanting this, want to be put on a show, wanting opportunities.
yeah,
And it's like, or like, I'll have people that are new to recover. It's like, man, I want to be a rapper. I want to do this. And I'm like, that's dope. You're inspired. Like, go out there and do it. And then like a year later, like I talked like, oh man, I really want to be a rapper. And I'm like, send me something you recorded. Like, oh, I haven't recorded anything yet. I'm like, so for a year you wanted to do something and haven't done it. But the cool thing about Whoa, that's why I don't like claiming people. That's why I told you from the get go. I don't mind claiming you, and I don't mind having you in my circle because I know you work when I'm not looking.
Oh yeah.
Right? You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? My circle's so small I can't afford to have people that aren't willing to work their fucking face off. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't willing to grind your ass off when no one's looking, I can love you and support you, but like for you to be in my circle, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like
Exactly.
there's that, and but it's like Woe is one of those people that like he might outwork me when it comes to music. Like this so like his work ethic with music is insane, right? We both have different expertise and strengths in the music business. But one of his strengths is making music and recording music. I will send this man a song yesterday. Send him a song. 20 minutes later, he's like, "Yo, check your email. Have it back. The song I sent you yesterday. 20 minutes." You know what I'm saying? And it's just like every song is like that. Is like an hour, half hour, And it's like, I was like, what'd you do today? He's like, oh, I knocked out like 5 songs. You want to hear them, bro? And I was like, 5 songs? Like, I've been in the studio for 6 hours today and got a half a verse. How you got five
That,
songs?
you
You know
know,
what I'm
and
saying?
another thing you're saying too about how hard you work.
Uh,
Another one said, it's okay when you're like, if you're out there busting your ass and everyone's watching you, you're like, man, damn, look how hard Skylar Ray's
yeah,
doing this. And hey, look at Manny, how he's busting his ass over
yeah.
here. All these people are watching and they see you working hard. Then you're at home. I'm at home. Doors are closed, man. What are you doing behind the scene? I can't remember who it was
Grinding.
told me. They said you need to work harder when no one's
No
looking,
one is watching. Yep.
than when they are watching. I'll never forget that, man. And now
Mhm.
with all this stuff here that's going on, studio podcast shows and all that, every time I start to back off a little bit, thinking it's okay, all right, that was good. Like, oh hell no, 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 no. It's time to work harder. It's time to,
Yep.
work when you're by yourself and no one's looking, work even harder. So
You
that's
have
you're
to.
100% right.
You have to. And that's the thing I like about Whoa is like if I called him up right now and I said, hey, F you, never want to talk to you again, like you're out of my life. And I guarantee if I didn't pay attention to him and I popped back up 2 years later, he'd be grinding just the same, if not harder. He'd have so many tracks done, so many, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm like, oh, he's for real. Like and that's why I like people in my circle that are for real. Cause
Yep. Yep.
everybody has a pipe dream. Everybody has a dream. Everybody talks the talk. Everybody's the baddest. The best. Like everybody's gonna get it done. Everybody's special. And it's like those are cool things, but you don't need to be all that. Just show me you work hard and you want this.
Show me you were just like last night, man. When we were chit chatting a little bit, I kind of filled them in just on a little
Yeah.
tiny stuff that me and you are talking about, and I go just to let you know, doors are opening, things are happening. That's all I
Yeah.
said, and then he responded. So this is
He's good
the
people, man.
amazing.
He's good people. Like I said,
This is
he's very wild. Hold on, let me fix this pattern behind me. He's a very wild person, but I love it. Great energy, good heart.
that's the
He's
circle. This is what we all have our spot.
he's
That
very
makes this puzzle.
I love him. I love him. There's sometimes I be hanging out with him. I'll be like, yo, he's crazy. Like, yo, like
That's
what?
why we all
You
got to
know?
be together in
Uh,
Connecticut.
uh,
I'm telling
he's
you, we got to make it happen. All of us
we will,
together in
we will,
Connecticut. We're
we
going to give
will.
OG a fucking heart attack.
Hey, it's gonna be
Can
fun.
you?
It's gonna be fun.
You saw her face when it was just me and you. Can you
Yeah.
imagine her watching me, you, Whoa, Coach,
Uh,
Ian, Matt,
uh,
Galante?
it's gonna be a lot of fun, man. I'm excited. I'm excited about it. There's a lot of cool things happening, man. I really feel like this might be one of the last foundation years. I always say like this is a foundation year, and I've been saying that for the last 4 years. But I have been building some good foundation, and I think I'm at the point where it's like this solid year. If I hit this shit hard. If it's
Yeah,
not
that's
about
the
like what
thing.
connections or things happen, like
No,
it's about how hard I work. I know even with everything cut off, just with my abilities and what I'm able to do and my God given talent, if I apply myself 110%, no shortcuts, no half-assed, working as hard as I can, like I think this might be the last foundation here, man. And what I mean by that
Definitely.
is like shit is like kind of set, as in like it's only up from here. And obviously that's the trajectory, right? Obviously that's where it's
Sure.
going. But it's like I've had some good foundation years, and I'm really confident of things I've been doing, and I'm proud, man. And and I have no shame in saying that. It's not an ego thing,
Nope.
because for the longest time, like I lack confidence. Like, I'm still not even close to the best, but I'm really really confident in what I can do nowadays, and I'm just like, Your
I'm
boy's dope.
telling you,
Your boy's
man.
dope now.
I've
You know what I'm saying?
I've been telling you that since the first day, our first conversation, and I'm telling you, man, the pieces of this puzzle that God's put together for us here. I mean, at first I was trying to make sense of it, and then I said, "No, no, don't do that because it'll never make sense. It's
Never
happening
makes sense.
because it was meant to. Me, you, now handsome. I mean, this. I mean, this is just incredible, man. I'm gonna hit him up as soon as I get done here, just to give him a shout out, man,
Yep,
and all this stuff. But man, Scott, I tell you what, I don't have to tell you, but I'm gonna always tell you, and I always will, man. I appreciate you and love you so much, brother.
of
And
course.
the things that we are going to be doing this coming year and for the rest of our days on
Uh,
this earth, all I told some people at the gym along with OG, I said, all I have to say is, either get on or get out of our way.
yeah.
And I don't
Yeah.
mean that in a negative way. It's like
No,
get
no,
on,
no.
get on,
I
come
did that
on,
sigh of
or
relief
get
just
out
because
of the way.
I'm excited that I did that because it's like
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
kind of like
this
a
is it.
relief in life because I just understand the greatness that it is bound to happen as long as I don't give up. And it's crazy because I have full, like, I'm really excited because I have full faith in me. I have full faith in you. I have full faith in Woe. And it's just like, if we keep going, like, who can I meet that could help you? Who can you meet that could help me? Like, we don't know who the fuck's gonna pop in our lives. We don't know what's gonna happen, like, with our circle. Like, you know
And
what
it
I'm saying?
just
I can
keeps
meet a random
growing.
connect that could blow your shit up. Like, you can meet a random connect that's not like, who's the Skylar kid? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it's just like,
And
we
another
got
cool
some go
thing,
getters on the team, bro.
and
We
that's just
got
it.
some
The
go
thing is,
getters.
with us here is, when it's just you, or if it's just me, or
Yeah.
just whoa, and we have that day, or
Uh,
that week, or that month
you just
where it's
never
just
know.
down, and all of a sudden one of us is picking up on it. I mean, and
Uh,
we have done already, where you notice it, that I know that you're gonna, grab that phone, hey,
yeah.
okay, enough pity party, get your ass moving, or
Let's
Woe's
go.
gonna hit
Let's
me up,
go.
Robin hits you up.
Uh,
So we are
we got a
not
team,
gonna
bro. We got
fail
a team. We're
because we're not
assembling the
gonna
A
let
team,
it
baby.
we're not gonna let each other fail. And that's just like with the
No,
rest of the family
100%.
here. Everyone out here, from Brenda to Stephanie to Tanya, for Ty, I mean, to everyone else, is our family. We don't let people fail because
We
we're
don't.
here
We
when
don't.
someone else isn't, to pick up the pieces, man. So,
I'm always gonna support you, bro. I'm always gonna support
oh,
you. I'm always gonna push you. If there's a day, one day you're like, honestly say, hey, I don't feel like doing podcasts no more, I'm gonna accept that. I will accept your new journey. I will accept you. I will love you. But as long as your mind, even I don't care if you have doubt. I don't care if you're not confident. I don't care if you're feeling out. If you still want to do a podcast, if there's a twinge in the heart that wants to do it, bro, like come
we're
on,
in.
bro. We going. We going. You know what
We're
I'm
doing
saying?
it, brother.
It's
As you
just
said,
like, you
let's
know.
go. Let's
Let's go,
go.
bro. Let's go.
All
That's
right, man.
you gotta hype yourself up sometimes. There's a lot of shit I don't feel like doing, and I'm just like, fuck it, let's go. You just gotta do
That's
it.
what,
You just gotta do
uh,
it.
and that's what separates you want to run with the big dogs. If you don't, stay on the porch. So,
Hey, I'm ready to run with the big dogs and get ran over. I don't
hey, we're
care.
doing it,
I get ran
man.
over and hop back up. I'll play with the big dogs. I'll be like little pound cake when she's with the big pack. She gets fucking tossed, but she keeps getting up,
Oh,
running at them, and
uh, uh, she was just,
Susie
she's like,
getting jealous.
she's like, nah, she's going off now. So, All right, my brother. I tell you what, I'm gonna go start chill here, relax a little bit. But I just wanted to pop on here with you and just
Mhm.
share some stories, talk about Sydney, get some of that out, and then just talk about us and the family and the story and what we're doing and the future
You feel
is
better?
freaking. I feel good. Thank you. I
Cool, cool,
appreciate you, man. I
cool.
really do. And I'll hit you up later on, and we'll chit
Hit me.
chat. But I love you, man. Tell Kayla I said what's up, and give Pound Cake a big old hug. And I will talk to you. I'll give you a call later on tonight.
All right, sounds like a plan, Manny. Take care of
All
yourself.
right.
You
I
end
love
the
you, man.
live. I'm right here. I'm not touching squat.
I'm gonna hit something here and do.
You handle it. My hands are right here. Anything happens,
All
it's on
right.
you.
See y'all. And